Hi, this is Shadi, and today we're gonna be talking about the modern US Judo. Last time I showed this footage talking about both World War One and World War Two, and talking about Captain Alan Smith, a brief history of his life story, and I left his book showing that throughout the decades, both world wars, arguably the biggest and deadliest wars we've had in mankind history, Judo was the weapon of choice when it came to hand-to-hand combat in Europe and the USA. So in this video I'm gonna go through modern Judo and talk about it. So just to show you that more than half a century down the line, and Judo is still the weapon of choice. It is still the best, most effective martial art to deal with hand-to-hand combat. The strongest army, arguably the strongest army on the planet, still uses it. So this video we're going to be doing two things. The first one is actually go through a ranger's demonstration and see the techniques utilized. So definitely we know that these would work in a street defense situation. And the second one is a combative tournament of 4 versus 4 and provide commentary. It's basically like a big brawl and see where ground fighting has its place. I always talk about don't pull guard, but playing guard has its place, and we're gonna see it in this video. So let's start with the demonstration. So here you see one is charging and easily been taken up with a Sutemiwaza. So I would argue Sutemiwaza are effective and very good for the streets, particularly Tomoe-nage. It's a classical jujitsu move. It is very startling to your opponent. Suddenly you change levels and then their balance is suddenly taken. Front diving almost on their head, and you have your leg as, you know, basically guiding them. And what's really good about Tomoe-nage is that it allows you to roll and continue to either north, south, or Kami Shiogatame, Tate Shiogatame, or the mount or Yoko Shiogatame side control. It allows you easy access after that throw to a very dominant position in order to pin and neutralize your opponent, either to negotiate, assuming they're still conscious, or if there's still very much resistance and looking for retaliation, you can easily finish with like a hidden cross choke or like a Juji Jime. So I would argue that Tomoe-nage is one of the best for street self-defense, especially for like raging lunatics really charging and trying to have like a forward momentum towards you. So here you see the demonstration continues. This is like it looks like a Sukuinage, like a Teiguruma, but let me know if you think otherwise. There's like a big lift. This is the basic form of Sukuinage, or a scooping throw. This is the classical form. It's like a double leg, but from behind. You lift up. You can also do like a high lift double leg. That's also considered a Sukuinage. But here it is the common form used, which we now call Teiguruma. So, by the way, the Kodokan never uses the term Teiguruma. It's actually always Sukuinage. You can use it basically as Kaishiwaza, especially in the last decade, and before that, Sukuinage was used more as like a counter to Osotogari, Uchimata, Hanegoshi, Haraigoshi, so on and so forth. You can use it as a direct throw, as you see here from efficient Judo. You can use Sukuinage or Teiguruma as the IJF puts it. I think it's the IJF, but like I said, the Kodokan does not have it in its vocabulary. It's always Sukuinage, scooping throw. So you can use it as a direct attack. It's one of the most effective. You can just lift, you can load on the hips. If someone is your size or smaller, that's an easily accessible throw. You can manage kumikata as well, or grip fighting. So moving on, here you see it's like an osoto mainly, or like a tayotoshi. It looked a bit like between the two. It's not. Here you see a Moro Tegari, like a clear, precise Moro Tegari coming from the grip fighting. It's actually done excellent. Moro Tegari reaping with both hands. You pull towards you, you don't lift up. That would be considered Kuinage, like I said. So Moro Tegari, easily one of the most effective throws for self-defense, for combatives. As you see here, literally these people are going to war. They're facing death, hand-to-hand combat for law enforcement as well. You see Moro Tegari being utilized, easily used in order to neutralize your target. So here it continues. More Moro Tegari is trying to control the ground, but let's watch the demonstration moving on. Here you see two other rangers come in, like shoving, basic start for a street fight. So here you see a Seoinage on the knees, but he kept rolling, and this is why I'm not the biggest fan of Seoinage when it comes to street self-defense or BJJ. As John Danaher puts it, you roll and you give out your back. So this is Ippon Seoinage, again thanks to efficient judo for this demonstration. I'm not a big fan of it. If you want to score Ippon in competition, that's fine, but it is such a high risk throw to me. You keep rolling, they might be on top of you. If it's a Wazari and they ended up on top of you, you are finished, you are pinned, and it is over. Or they can just go to the side and finish with like an Okuri Erijime. I finished so many people that use Seoinage against me with Okuri Erijime. I'm not the biggest fan of this particular throw. So here you see there is guard play at hand. So when the fight goes to the ground, yes, do play guard if you happen to be on your back, but don't use it as your main strategy. Here you see like a Kimura or Ude Garami, a Gyaku Ude Garami in this instance, because it is a reversed Ude Garami. The normal Ude Garami is what we call in BJJ Americana. So here you see someone is on top of you, you're playing open guard, you can easily catch it. You can do Americana or Kimura or Ude Garami or Gyaku Ude Garami. It is one of the most effective arm locks, incredibly painful, and like I said, incredibly effective. Notice how you hook their leg with your own in order to prevent them from getting past you and into Osaikomi. So easily one of the best arm locks out there. So here there's more guard play. You see them. So he tries to get up. You see, it tries to go for Sankaku-Jime or a triangle choke. He lifts him up. Guard slam are real. Do not forget the guard slam. So two things happen. The first one is obviously Sankaku-Jime or the triangle choke. Triangle choke can be found from almost anywhere. It can be found from behind, from the back. It can be found from the top or mount. It can be found from side control. It can be found if someone is turtling. You can attack them with Sankaku-Jime. And here, as you saw in the Rangers demonstration, it can be found from the closed or open guard. So Sankaku-Jime, like attacking with your legs, is incredibly efficient. It is one of the staples of judo and jujitsu. So because your legs are arguably far stronger than his upper body, so Sankaku-Jime is one of the best go-to once you are in guard, but you need to hook the leg. It is crucial because daki age or like high lift and then guard slam are real, as you just saw. So daki age is the term for high lift, because it is so dangerous. When someone lifted someone up like this, they would give them the ippon, but if they slammed them, they would just be rendered unconscious, including on the mat. So I would say like if you lift up and slam, it would be either like daki age nage, or high lifts and slam, or a sukuinage because you are scooping up and then slamming down. So you can also consider it a type of sukuinage, at least in my opinion. If you have another opinion, do share it down below. So don't forget, guard slams are real. Once you lock a triangle or an armbar, immediately go for that hook, the underhook on the leg, so you prevent basically paralysis. So here the demonstration continues. You see like there's a ground and pound from mount. Ground and pound are real, not just in MMA or sports. So, and they cannot, here he tries to go for like a juji gatame, gets rolls and gets up, flips them, reverses it, and walks away. So here you see like a spear attack, like a football tackle, or I would consider it also Moro Tegari. You are still reaping with both hands here. I would argue this is a straight ankle lock, one of the easiest and accessible foot locks that easily dislocates the ankle from the foot, or the shin from the foot. So no need for like big heel hooks or anything. You could just easily pop the ankle once you know how to extend and use leverage. One of the oldest. I would argue we need this one back in judo, so people would just be familiarized, and also it is not targeting ligaments. It can easily heal. Here you see like a koshi guruma. People say it's kubinage also because there's not like a big lift, but according to the Kodokan, there's also no kubinage. It's all koshi guruma or hip wheel. You see here, it is a very famous throw in Greco-Roman wrestling as well. So as you see here, the arsenal for the Rangers or the army, it is vastly wide on the ground and standing up. So you see here, judo is incredibly effective. Here you see more guard play, and then like groin kicks, going for more leg locks. The footage is very far away. I cannot see which leg lock they went for, easy like a knee bar or toe hold, I don't know. But I would argue like the straight ankle lock is one of the basics, and I'd argue they should bring it back. This one and the calf slice, they're very safe. Even if you get injured, you can easily heal from them, and it will allow you to defend. Here you see a rear naked choke, Hadaka-Jime or Ushiro Hadaka-Jime, rear naked throw. Literally, you can do it this type where you attack the trachea, or here you see the most common variation of it. So here the demonstration is almost over. We're gonna go into the brawl or the 4-on-4 combative tournament. There's many combative tournament. You can actually look them up on YouTube. So here they start to engage with weapons. Here you see someone attacking with the rifle, and then someone charges. Easy access to tomoe nage. So let's start and look at the 4 versus 4 brawl. I'm just gonna provide commentary because all the moves are very familiar and we've shown them already. So here it is like a big brawl, and some Henner something. Oh, here you see like a sleeve and lapel, like someone like a knee pick. Takedowns are crucial. Here you see playing open guard. I would argue open guard is the best guard to play when in self-defense because there's more hip motility than closed guard. Your legs can provide kicks to the face, especially if you're wearing these boots. Submissions, you can hook the biceps to avoid strikes. Here you can see turtling is a very instinctive position, but you need to know how to escape it once you're in it. Hanner says, you guys, guess what? 95% of fights end up where? On the ground. But do not make it your priority because I'm gonna show you something in a few seconds. So here the fight, like look at what happens. So here they are engaging on the ground, their knees like a very normal roll how we start jiu-jitsu. Look at here, he has friends, they come at you, they ambush you. So sometimes I say the takedown is a priority, and yes, it is a priority, and assume a top position like osaikomi, but sometimes that's not always a good idea. If he has friends, even if you are on top pinning them, you are giving your back, you are giving the back of your head, you are giving the back of your neck. One strike on those and it is arguably over. So please be careful and disengage immediately once you feel that throw did its job. Maybe they are disoriented or like they are in some pain. Disengage and run away quickly. You don't know who's waiting for you around the corner. You don't know if he has something in his pocket and he's gonna use it. If you are pinning them, they can just pull it out from their pocket and shank you basically. So please be careful, but the conclusion remains the same. Judo is arguably the best tool for hand-to-hand combat. Use strategic strike around it, but it should be the nucleus for your entire training basically. You can argue also Greco-Roman wrestling is always good because you have that upright shizentai posture that they also use. You have the access to like body locks, overhooks, underhooks, not always relying on clothing. And there's also big stuff like gut wrenching on the ground and pinning. So also Greco-Roman wrestling, I would argue it's a good art for hand-to-hand combat. Adding basic submissions to it like the armbar, the triangle, and maybe a gi choke here, like a simple gi choke and an armbar and your Greco-Roman pins. I would say that would make you a very efficient grappler when it comes to self-defense. So if you have anything else to add, let me know down below. Also consider supporting me on Patreon. I have exclusive content for the patrons only. And also your support would mean a lot to me to grow this project and keep going. So if you have anything else to add, let me know down below. This was Shadi and thank you for listening.